Hi there, it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts again. So I am, when I'm filming this, I'm preparing for my Ronald McDonald House charity event where across the UK demonstrators are hoping to make 10,000 cards to gift to the Ronald McDonald House Charities. This is a charity that has residential spaces near children's hospitals where families can spend time when they are with their child who is not well, and if they aren't able to commute easily. So they get to, if there's room, and there are some houses that are very, very, very full, unfortunately. So yes, so this is the stamp set that Stampin Up globally sells in aid of the charity. It's quite well hidden, sort of, I think. It's always at the back of the catalogue. So this is the inside of the back cover. So this is the back cover. I've spiral bound mine. And this is the stamp set. And it's available in wood at £26 or clear mount at £19. And it says here that £2 of that will go to the Ronald McDonald House charity for every set sold. So for every set sold, £2 goes to the charity. So a great cause, and as I say, in the UK we are having an event on the 23rd, 24th and 25th of June, which is probably when this is going to go live, actually, if I get my scheduling right. So perfect timing for using this set. So apologies if you can hear a cat off. One of our cats has a toy that every now and again she gets terribly close to and carries around and makes "I've got a kitten" noises, and she's currently doing that outside my craft room. Anyway, I've prepared a couple of, these need to be stuck onto cards, of cards ready for my event. These are relatively straightforward because I've got various people coming to help me, some of whom haven't done much stamping before, some haven't done any stamping before, and I have actually got a couple of card options where they don't need to do any stamping. So I thought that would be something that then they would find accessible, and that would be good. So these are two just really straightforward or relatively straightforward cards that I've prepped for that, and I thought it would be nice to make a slightly more advanced version using the same stamp set. Now this goes with the apologies if you've got noises off, that is my husband watering the garden loudly. It's 31 degrees in my study at the moment, so the garden needs watering. Anyway, so this uses the Everyday Framelits dies. It goes with that, so you get more bang for your buck, as they say. So let's have a go. And I have already done a couple of, here I prepared earlier. So we're using the same red mat and my normal smaller mat. I have already die cut out the strip of hearts, although having said that I now can't find the die. Oh, there we are. So one of the dies in the die set is this one, and it just punches out all these little hearts, and I thought that would be fun to have at the bottom of the card as a sort of focal point, although I'm probably going to stamp there as well. I did decide on a, here we are. So I'm going to use the Always Here For You stamp, which is there. So grab that and a block of an appropriate size. You'd think I have prepared, but I haven't. So this is the G block, in desperate need of a clean, which I must do before my event. So we always need to make sure it's the right way up. I don't put the stickers on the back of the stamps. It's personal choice and I just don't. Right, I'm going to use the Real Red ink. So, and I will just take the mat away. Gentle tapping, just make sure that's properly inked. And then just hold it there for a little while. And there we are, always here for you. Just clean that off on my trusty stamping scrub. Right, pop that to one side. Now, I'm going to actually make this into a shaker card. So, what I have already, actually I'll show you what I'll show you how to do what I've already prepared. But I have already prepared some bits for this. As I said already, sorry, 31 degrees heat and keeping your brain straight really doesn't work. I think I've got a bug in the middle of my ink pad now, which is not great. Let me see if I can get that off, because we don't want bits on our ink pad. It's not nice. Don't know what that is. But I think it might be a bug. There are a few of them about in here today. So I'm just going to stamp that. This is basic grey ink. Just going to leave that one. I close that up and put it away. I had a mammoth clear out in my craft room yesterday morning, and it looks like a bomb's landed again, but then I have been prepping for my Ronald McDonald event. So I've been doing lots of card samples for people to copy. Right, so what I would do with that is, with the large framelit and then the inner, run that through the Big Shot. At the same time, on my strip of Whisper White. Now this is thick Whisper White that I used for that. This is ordinary Whisper White, and I've got the jar lid. And I'm just going to stamp that there. And it's that lovely red gingham lid, which always reminds me of a particular brand of jam. Although now we're in the middle of the country, I tend to make my own jam. So this then goes with this framelit. So I then run those through the Big Shot using the magnetic platform. But for the sake of speed, I'm going to do the Blue Peter. Here's one I've prepared earlier. And hopefully somewhere, oh yes, there. Here's another one I prepared earlier. So that's the jar all ready to go. And I'll actually stick one to t'other whilst I think of it. And then I can deal with this as one piece. I have also run some window sheet through the Big Shot using the same of the large jar framelit. And this is it. Now you will find you have to run this through 2 or 3 times, possibly 3 or 4 times, to get it to actually cut, and you may need to just snip away a couple of bits. And you'll find that one side has a smoother edge, which is the top, where the die has pushed in, and the other side is a bit rougher. So I would actually stick it, oops, sorry, breeze, lovely. Let's pop something on that. So I'd actually stick it so that the smoother edge is up. And what I'm going to do is grab my silicone mat and my fast fuse, and I'm going to pop some fast fuse around this, and I'm using my silicone mat so that if I do go over the edge I won't end up with glue everywhere. Now you could possibly, could you? Yeah, use the new adhesive sheets. I don't know, because I haven't used them yet, I don't know if they will stick window sheet to card, but it might be worth a try. What I do know is fast fuse will stick to your finger quite well. Right, so getting this the right way up. It's always worth attaching in a corner first and then just laying it down. There we are. So that is now window sheet. So, don't need that and don't need that. Let's pop that away on my little shelf there. Right, so we've now got that and that and that, and this is going to sit here, and as I say, it's going to be a shaker. So in order to have the image in the right place, I've got the middle that I've taken out of that jar, and I'm just going to pop that down, and with a pencil, very lightly, actually, do I want it there or do I want it a bit? No, I think I want it a bit, yeah, a bit further down. I'm just very, very lightly, get rid of the rubbish that's there, going to draw around the outside so I know where I'm then stamping. So I don't know if you can see that, but the important thing is that I can. So I've now got the leaf piece, which is this, the stalk and the leaf, and I'm going to be stamping it that way. So Pear Pizzazz, just gentle tapping, and then within that pencil mark, or as near as I can within that pencil mark. Can you see that? Yes, I think you can. Yes. There we are. So clean that off. Right, I'm going to leave this out because, and actually whilst I think about it, if I can find my nice rubber, I've got a nice white rubber, I'm just going to rub out that line whilst I remember. There we go. Right, I'm now going to take a blender pen. I've already got some ink in the top here, and I'm just going to pick some of that up and just gently add a little bit of colour. And it doesn't need much, it's just a little bit. And remember that you don't want to go over the layers too much whilst it's still, oh sorry, go over the colour too much whilst it's still a bit wet, because then you could get the card pilling, and we don't want that. And then clean off your blender pen so you know it's clean later, although I would always say remember to clean your pen before you start, just in case. Right, I'm now going to grab a teeny weeny block and a teeny weeny little ladybird and some Memento ink. Just ink that up. Remember, with the fabric ink pads, it's worth doing a little bit of a twist as well. And then I want him just bottom out time. There. There we are. So it's actually on the leaf. Clean that off, pop that away. Now I like using Memento ink if I'm using the blender pen, because then it is less likely to bleed than the archival. The archival you have to leave for a very long time, even in this heat. Just popping some ink into the lid of, and then what I'm going to do is just from the bottom up, just get rid of some of that. Don't want it solid red. There we are. Okay. So that's that bit. That's the, what I would say, easy bit. Now we've just got to build up the shaker. So this is where our adhesive strips come into their own. Now these are a little thicker than the dimensionals, which is worth bearing in mind when you start thinking about postage, because it may not go through in the UK as a large letter, as a small letter. Now I would not start on a corner, because if you've got a seam you kind of don't want it at the corner, but what I am doing is just running this strip around the edge of my jar. And if you get it in the right place, you shouldn't have it coming over the die cut piece. Now the corners are quite tight, but doable. And then just snip so you've got a good tight seam, and then just pop that bit. Actually, I'll pop this bit just on the top here so that that's not, we need that supported as well, so that will work nicely. Right, so that's going to go over there, and if we get it in the right place, you can see that the bottom of the leaf is going to be at the bottom of the jar. Now, if you have your tape down here, you can then fill your jar. If you're doing it this way around, obviously you can't. Now I have pre-cut using little strips of red and also the old heart border punch. I've collected all these bits over the last few months, so there are circles. There's all sorts of bits here actually, but they're only red or white. But as I say, quite a lot of them are these bits. That I've used the heart border from the die set. So just going to peel the backing off my adhesive strip. I'm going to leave the top bit for the moment, and then I'm just going to have to bring this, let's get rid of that, I don't need the added excitement of a loose piece. I just want to make sure that this is, I may have got too much in here, but I don't think so. Yeah, possibly too much. Although, I don't know if I can get that lump to break up, because there is this lump in the middle, which, there we are. So, yeah, I think that's quite nice. Possibly a few less, but I'm happy with that. And then this last piece, very gently take that strip off, although you don't really need to, it's just there for support. And there we go. One heart has caught at the top, but that's all right. But then they shake around nicely. So, I'm actually going to use fast fuse because I don't want to end up with glue in the wrong place. So, as I have my fast fuse out, in from the side, because obviously this mat is smaller than the white piece. And I am going to put quite a lot. You don't really need this much if all you're doing is sticking one layer that's, you know, easy to the other. You just need a bit in each corner, but because we've got a bit of extra weight, I want to make sure it's well supported. And then just make sure that you're in the middle of your card and pop it down. And there we are. And grab a card base. And then that's going to stick to that. And this I will use my favourite liquid glue. You don't need much. Less is definitely more. And just make sure our ladybug is showing. And there we are. I think that's really quite cute. Let's bring in the other two. So, a very much stepped up version, but still the same stamp set, and I like to make sure that you're aware of everything you can do. If you would like this stamp set, and remember that £2 of the price will go to the Ronald McDonald House Charities, please hop over onto my online store. If you are spending £25 or more, but less than 150, please use the Hostess Code, which will be in the description bar below and on the associated blog post. All the measurements will be on that as well. If you could shop in my online store, it would be a great help. It does help bring videos to you, and I hope you're enjoying them. At the point of recording this, I've got about 960, 970 subscribers. As soon as we get to 1,000, I will be doing a giveaway. So if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe, and then you get to see more videos like this, and also to hear about when we have the giveaway, which is always good stuff. If you are thinking of spending more than, or anything in the region of £100, please look at getting the starter kit and joining my team, because for £99 including postage and packing, you get to have £130 worth of product of your choice. If you're spending a lot of money, like £300 or more, until the end of June, over at my online store, you will get an extra £30 of stamping rewards. So at £300, you get £66 of stamping rewards. If you've got an enormous wish list, you can use those £66 towards them buying a starter kit. So that's worth thinking about. Or if you've got lots of chums who want to order some stuff as well, then put in one big order, and then between you, you've got £66 of stamping rewards to spend until the end of June. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will let you know how I get on with my my stamping challenge. So we've got 100,000 cards to see if we can make. We do get 2 weekends to do it, this coming weekend and nearer Christmas, but it would be really wonderful if we could smash the 10,000 in this one weekend, and I think those of us that are involved in this one are really going to give it a go. Anyway, I hope to see you soon, and until then, have a great time.